Do you remember the infamous Reddit comment where Electronic Arts community team said, "The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes"?
Brother, what's that, brother?
This was in response to the now top post on r/Star Wars Battlefront where user MBMM Maverick criticized the purchase of the $80 deluxe edition that led to Darth Vader still being locked for multiplayer modes. The only way to unlock Vader was to play the game endlessly, tirelessly, and eternally for an estimate of nearly 40 hours in order to accrue enough in-game credits to purchase him, or have to purchase. EA's comment was wildly unpopular, currently holding over a comment score of negative 668,000, a site-wide record that still stands today. The game received a couple of articles of negative press. And a few elite gamers made videos regarding the situation.
Hammer away at EA's hypocrisy.
EA access.
EA.
Electronic Arts, you failed.
But at its core, 6¼ years down the road, is Star Wars Battlefront 2 the second one, not the first one? Is this technically Star Wars Battlefront 2 or Star Wars Battlefront 4? Is Star Wars Battlefront 2 worth revisiting? The beginning of all great video games start with reminiscing of the single-player campaign. But first, let's catch up a little. Previously on Star Wars Battlefront. Lost in the rich, deep, and raunchy story of Star Wars, DICE's first Battlefront does not add to any of it by providing a single-player campaign. Featured instead were missions allowing you and a co-op friend to team up and play as the Rebels or Imperials and complete goals. There wasn't much to it, but it was at least something to do offline in the game. Battlefront 2's story is excellent as it centers around Iden Versio and her squad of space pirates as they defunct from their evil overlord to join the Resistance. Aliens who resist other aliens. While I don't have any major problems with the campaign, I had to play through it one more time since I couldn't remember any major plot points. It's as simple as this. The gameplay is incredible, featuring missions that allow you to slay with a lightsaber, blast enemies with your blaster, travel back to Jakku, and look, it's Luke Skywalker. The original campaign features 12 missions, but an additional 3 are added thanks to the Resistance update. The pack begins with Iden trading her daughter in an X-Wing, blasting fools with attitudes. I believe the expansion adds to the single-player story and does so without compromising the original end to the game. Did I also mention that it's a free update and you can play it for free? Multiplayer is the bread and butter of this franchise, as it is the popular option for friends and solo acts alike. There are a few primary modes, including Supremacy, Heroes and Villains, and the More tab. Supremacy is split up into 3 different categories, with these categories representing different eras that correlate with the major movie installments. There is the Age of the Republic, focused on movies 1 through 3, the Age of the Rebellion, targeting movies 4 through 6, and the Age of Resistance, movies 7 through 9. Unfortunately, there's no minigame that rockets Leia's apparent corpse back into the ship.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Supremacy is simple. Capture command posts to earn more score for your team and unlock new respawn points to push forward into the enemy base. There are 4 customizable classes to choose from, including Assault, Heavy, Officer, and Specialist. As you play in a match, you earn battle points, which allows you to pick a more specialized troop with weapons and extra abilities, and even heroes and villains that are relevant to the map and timeline you are playing in. The heroes and villains have limited quantities in the battlefield, so don't worry about 40 count Dooku's pulling up onto the B post. Speaking of heroes and villains, there is a game mode that features only the prominently named Star Wars characters that you probably had action figures for as a child. Or right now, I don't judge. Reducing the player count per team from 20 to 4, 2 teams clash and play as either the heroes or, get this, the villains. The heroes feature characters such as Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Yoda, Rey, and Anakin Skywalker. On the villains, you can play as Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, Darth Maul, Captain Phasma, and also Anakin Skywalker. Score is reliant on kills, taking form of a team deathmatch type game mode. Two other game modes also exist for heroes and villains. There is Showdown, which is just a 2v2 that features the sweatiest players on the planet, and Hero Starfighters that allows you to select iconic starfighters from every Star Wars movie and duke it out in aerial combat. I'm not great at flying in video games, so here's the only footage I have of it.
Oh my god.
And lastly, there's the More tab. There's an additional 5 game modes acting as a nice wine pairing to the prominent matches you should be playing. Galactic Assault puts you into the 2 teams of attackers and defenders with different objectives that need to be attacked or defended. These include moving vehicles, planting and detonating bombs, capturing command posts, and hacking computer systems. This is very similar to Supremacy in terms of gameplay, just a different way of earning points. Starfighter Assault is a dogfight game mode, which again, I am very bad at. You can select ships from any era of Star Wars, so fly your favorite ships to all your heart's desires. Blast is another TDM with smaller teams, featuring close range maps, and Strike/Extraction is a smaller team game mode focused on objectives relevant to the maps you are playing on. And Ewok Hunt is tiny little Ewoks terrorizing stormtroopers. It's about the most fun you can have playing a video game as you throw rocks and jab tall giants that aren't welcome on your planet.
Why won't you love me, Dad? I'll be anything you want me to be. I want you to be Dad!
My overall impression of multiplayer is just to stick with Supremacy and Heroes and Villains. I have been queuing in lobbies for nearly 30 minutes trying to find matches of these other game modes. This is my recommended way to play this game, online, with other people, talking smack in game chat. Co-op missions can be played up into squads of 4 people and offers a PvE experience for shooters who aren't into competitive matches all the time. It pairs squads up into battle scenarios split into 6 different categories: Galactic Republic, Rebel Alliance, Resistance, Separatist Alliance, Galactic Empire, and First Order. This game initially released content featuring only the Clone Wars, but was soon updated to feature the events of the sequel movies following an update in 2019. Right around that time, you know, Episode 9 came out, that fucking thing. A later update brought the Galactic Civil War in early 2020, allowing for a full experience to play with all 9 movies in the series. The co-op experience in this game is a nice little side hustle, appeasing a small group of friends to collect minor stories within Battlefront 2. It can also be a helpful trainer and warm-up before playing online if sweating over this game is something that you are looking forward to. For my time playing with my friends, we tend to fuck around and do dumb shit, adding to our time spent with the game. The maps in this game are gorgeous. Here's a short list of the planets you can play on. While I have only played this game on Xbox and missed out on the PC experience, these maps are stunning to see on the Xbox One X hardware. Think about all those teraflops hard at work inside of this little thing. This game surprisingly plays at a native 4K resolution along with HDR on a console released in 2017. And if you have a PS4 Pro or a PS5, it still runs at a native 2K, and that's pretty alright. These are some screenshots I grabbed from the Star Wars wiki, which I also used to grab some information on this video. Make sure to check it out to read descriptions on the game modes, maps, and campaign that I have addressed in this video so far. Battlefront II features updates that release nearly every month from the launch up until the final major content update in August of 2020. The notable major updates are the Last Jedi update, the 2.0 patch, the Han Solo update, Cooperation update, the Rise of Skywalker update, BB update, which added sequel maps to the game, Age of Rebellion, and the Battle on Scarif. Most of these title packs included new characters, maps, and game modes that I've outlined above. For the most part, this adds more to do, fills the rotation of quick play, and increases the size of the base game when being re-downloaded in the future. The notable change, overhauling the microtransaction system in the game, is Update 2.0. In short, this update primarily targeted the credit system. Everything in multiplayer used to be locked, with the only means of progression to unlock them is by spending more credits, which were notoriously difficult to earn as it was tied to game time in played matches, not dependent on score or performance. To earn upgrades in the original game, loot crates were rampant, as they contained random items that were used to make your character better. For example, the star cards. Being able to throw money at the game to unlock the top heroes and villains at a rotation, while also having increasingly powerful star cards that could grant damage boosts, greater defense with more shield health and defense, and unlocking weapons and stat boosts were a recipe for disaster to players who were quickly aware of the gap between those who did and didn't indulge in a few purchases. This update has drastically increased the quality of play, where some new players weren't even aware that the game once contained loot boxes. Update 2.0 saved the face of the game and did much more than adding any content that they could have to this game. This game has already, barring any unforeseen circumstances, received all of its content updates and will see no additional modes, features, characters, or starships. This game is in its most complete state, featuring more content than any other time of the game dropping, at least since August of 2020 when the last big update was put into the game. Now the game rotates in game challenges and double XP weekends, which is actually occurring the week that this video is released. Additionally, I've been working on making this video for a little bit now, and I made the push to get it done with the announcement of the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, releasing March of 2024. A definitive collection of the original 2 games developed by LucasArts. This will bring back the online servers for these games on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch. I remember playing the second game as a kid, and it will grasp my nostalgia hard and possibly eat up more of my valuable time. It'll be interesting to see which of these 2 games will be more popular in a few years, considering there is a speculated release of a 3rd Battlefront game coming eventually. And to answer the big question, is Battlefront 2 worth revisiting? I believe this game is worth revisiting for a few main reasons. 1. The removal of the pay to progress and win system. While dumping money into this game didn't necessarily make you a better player, it did allow for you to instantly unlock star cards that gave you an immediate advantage over players who didn't put as much time into the game at launch. The playing field is level, and the strength of your class is dependent now on experience points gained through playing the game. 2. The single player experience is worth a shot. There's enough variety to make this worth at least one playthrough, as I am not deep into the lore of the Star Wars universe, but I still enjoyed the story that this game has provided for us. The Resistance story is also more free content, making the single player a longer experience if you plan on basing your purchase on hours to be played. 3. Co-op is mindless fun. Drop in, pick up a character, and start playing. It's as easy as that. There's a decent rotation of maps available that won't make the mode feel too much like a drag. 4. The game is constantly on sale. This game is always being sold for less than $10 and is featured in EA Play for people subscribed to their service. Battlefront 2 is widely available and easily obtainable. Check out these Amazon listings that I have right here. I like Battlefield. I have enjoyed the Battlefield experience ever since my goober friend Brandon put me onto it like 10 years ago, and this game is eerily familiar to that experience. Considering this game is made by DICE and uses the famous Frostbite engine, it would make sense that this game plays more like Battlefield 1 than Madden 17. The combat is fluid, the starships and groundcrafts swerve on dimes, and the maps are crafted on their playground philosophy of letting players determine their individual playstyles. In short, this game has a lot to offer, and for a lower price and removal of loot boxes that can be purchased, all in-game content being moved to unlockable through progression only, and the influx of content and aura of the Star Wars universe, this game can be worth a weekend's worth of game time if you're interested in just trying something new.